Hello, it's Saturday, the 31st of January. You're tuned in to our late night newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. Thanks ever so much for joining us. I'm Mark Broome. Our top story tonight, the United States has downplayed speculation that it has been angling for talks with North Korea over its nuclear weapons program. The State Department says its stance remains the same. Pyongyang has to show a clear willingness to denuclearize, or talks won't be happening anytime soon. Our Hwang Ji-hye reports.
U.S. State Department spokesperson Jen Psaki has dismissed speculation Washington has been seeking talks with North Korea and China. She was looking to clarify the State Department's stance after comments made by a key U.S. official in Beijing. Speaking to reporters in the Chinese capital on Friday, Sung Kim, the U.S. Special Representative for North Korea policy, said the North most likely knew about his trip to China, hinting that there could have been an opportunity for the two sides to meet. The State Department spokesperson said, however, that there were no plans for a meeting during the U.S. envoy's trip, adding that the North is refusing to abide by the 2005 joint statement in which the regime pledged to end its nuclear weapons program.
The question is whether the North Koreans are ready for any serious and productive discussion on the nuclear issue, and that's something we're continuing to look for.
She said the U.S. has not seen any indication the North is willing to denuclearize, stressing that Washington needs to see Pyongyang taking positive and responsible steps before discussions can resume. Psaki's remarks are in line with comments made by Sung Kim earlier this month, in which he said it was important for North Korea to meet its international obligations to denuclearize. Hwang Ji-hye, Arirang News.
And North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has overseen a joint naval and air force drill simulating an attack on the U.S. Navy in an apparent reaction to recent comments made by U.S. President Barack Obama, in which he said the regime was doomed to collapse. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency reported on Saturday that the drill was initiated by Kim personally, as he, quote, no longer plans to sit face-to-face with rabid dogs barking loudly, in a comment clearly directed at Obama and the US government. According to the report, Kim said the North will counter any war, including a nuclear war, against the United States. The report failed to mention when or where the drill took place. North Korea has already held 2 Air Force and Army drills this month, but this latest exercise was even bigger, involving fighter jets and other powerful military hardware. South Korea is gearing up to reconnect 3 inter-Korean railroads that were severed during the Korean War. Seoul's Land Minister So Seung-hwan says the government is starting actual preparations to run trains across the border that will connect the South Korean capital to cities in the north, including Pyongyang. The railroad project is a key element of President Park Geun-hye's Eurasia initiative, which includes an envisioned transcontinental express project reaching Europe through Russia and China. Now, to some remarks that will almost certainly inflame tensions with Korea. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has criticized an American school textbook that describes some of Japan's wartime atrocities. The New York Times reports that Abe told Parliament that he wants to fight what he calls, quote, mistaken views abroad concerning Japan's wartime actions when the Japanese military brutally conquered large parts of Asia. Abe said he objected in particular to a textbook published by McGraw-Hill Education that says women were forced to work in Japanese military brothels during the war. McGraw-Hill continues to defend its textbook entitled Traditions and Encounters, A Global Perspective on the Past, and says the writing, research and presentation of its account is supported by very solid historical facts. The book tells how the Imperial Japanese Army forcibly recruited and conscripted as many as 200,000 women, many of them Korean, to serve Japanese troops before and during the Second World War. Now, the staggering popularity of the new iPhone 6 and 6 Plus has pushed Apple and Samsung Electronics closer together than ever at the peak of the global smartphone market. Now, Samsung doesn't release its smartphone shipments, but industry analytics firm IDC estimates the Korean firm shipped 75.1 million smartphones in the fourth quarter, with Apple just 600,000 behind on 74.5 million. IDC adds that over the last 12 months, Apple's share of the global smartphone market has risen from 17% to 20%. Over the same period, Samsung's share tumbled from 29 to 20%. Market watchers say Samsung's share is dropping because of competition from Apple at the high end and even more intense competition from Chinese manufacturers in the larger low and mid-range markets. Deep sea water is jam-packed with various natural minerals that it's said can contribute to a healthier lifestyle. But its use has been partially restricted here in Korea, but now related regulations are going to be lifted from May, in fact, to allow deep water to be used in things like pre-mixed coffee, soda, and even snacks. Our Park Ji-won reports.
Pure and rich in minerals, deep sea water is pumped from some 200 meters below the ocean surface. Water enthusiasts praise it for its health benefits and taste, and now it's even being used in artisanal foods and alcoholic beverages. In Japan, the deep sea drinking water market is worth nearly $650 million, and in Taiwan, it's reached some $550 million. In Korea, the market stands at just $11 million. One of the reasons the special water remains relatively untapped here is strict local regulations on deep sea water use. The law stipulates only 6 food items, including bottled water, tofu, and kimchi, can use deep ocean water. But demand is only growing, and research points to the unlimited potential of the clean water. Against this backdrop, the Korean government has decided to lift regulations and tap into this lucrative natural resource.
The government will designate Goseong Gangwon-do province, already home to a deep-sea water company, as a specialized area for deep-sea water businesses.
Korea has already secured over 4 trillion tons of deep-sea water, but only 3.4 million tons is currently being used annually. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.
The Japanese government has admitted that negotiations with Islamic State over the safe release of a Japanese journalist and a Jordanian pilot are deadlocked. Japan's deputy foreign minister, who is leading Tokyo's emergency response team in Jordan, says there has been no progress in trying to secure the release of Kenji Goto or the Jordanian airman. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has told officials to work closely with Jordan and other countries and remain alert in what he called these extremely difficult circumstances. Islamic State had vowed to kill its Jordanian hostage by sunset on Thursday unless Jordan handed over an Iraqi militant in return for Mr. Goto. Jordan has demanded evidence the pilot is still alive before it frees would-be suicide bomber Sajida al-Roshawi, who has been on death row for nearly a decade. At least 61 people have been killed in a bomb attack that ripped through a Shiite mosque in southern Pakistan as worshippers gathered for Friday prayers. Police say the blast was either caused by a suicide bomber or an explosive device. The militant Sunni group Jundullah, a splinter group of Pakistan's Taliban, has claimed responsibility for the bombing. The attack is the deadliest attack on Shiites in Pakistan in 2 years. The country's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has condemned the bombing and ordered an immediate inquiry. Now, the next time you're looking for a scenic escape, you might want to explore one of Korea's beautiful recreational forest areas. Beyond being just a place to react, the areas offer a broad range of activities and they are giving local businesses a much-needed boost. Our Son Jung-in reports.
A new recreational forest has recently opened in Pyeongsan-bando, an area on the west coast that embraces both mountain and sea. Of the 160 recreational forests spread across Korea, this is the first one with a beautiful panoramic view of the beach as its backdrop. The idyllic setting gives visitors a chance to enjoy some water sports and explore the ecosystem of the ocean or camp out in the forest while breathing the fresh pine-scented air. And it is not just visitors who welcome this new recreational facility.
People are coming here from all around the country. It's good for the local economy and boosts business in the region. So residents here have high expectations for this place.
Pyeongsan-bando is just one of a number of recreational forests across the country that are building new programs tailored to the growing number of people looking for a reason to get out of the city. Gyeonggi-do Province, for instance, is preparing to open the first foreigner-friendly national forest in Yangju in October as part of a forest-based welfare policy for area residents, including immigrants and multi-ethnic families.
We're planning to diversify the recreational forest theme with an array of attractions, such as marine explorations, foreigner-friendly camping zones, or mountain horseback riding.
The government plans to continue expanding the number of natural forest sites in the country to give busy urbanites a chance to relax and escape for a time while reconnecting with nature. 손정인, Arirang News.
Now, before we go, taking a brief look at the weather here in Korea. Most of the country is under clear skies tonight. We're going to see the mercury drop to a very chilly -6 degrees Celsius overnight in Seoul. And Sunday will be another clear and sunny day across much of the peninsula, but it's going to be cold again, with the daytime high only topping out at 3 degrees Celsius in the capital. Now, for those of you watching us overseas, here's the weather in your part of the world. And those are the stories we have for you at this hour. For more of the latest stories, don't forget to check out our website, arirang.co.kr/news. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.